What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the airport. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here, we are back, and we have a lot to get through, guys. Listen, man, the Miami Heat have just won another game against the Dallas Mavericks. It was a really good game. Overtime win. You know, you love to see overtime wins. Obviously, you would want the team to finish the job before overtime, but overtime wins really test the team's character, and there were a lot of plays made by a number of people. I gotta shout out a lot of guys, man, because a lot of people put in the work. A lot of people were absolutely insanely good last night, and it shows. It shows because they've been good all season. Gotta shout out Jimmy. 33, amazing game, man. His best game this year, according to me. I think the Sixers game was good too, but last night, especially down the stretch, he kind of just took over. He was getting to the free throw line now. He probably could have had 40 if he made his free throws. I'm not gonna lie, he was that good. Defensively, I thought he was good too. He was, Haywood Highsmith started off on Kyrie, but Jimmy did switch onto him, and he was holding his own at times. And he was good. He was just good all over the place. It was one of his best games. Over the past few years, it was his best game this season, and he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. He deserves a lot of credit last night. Had the ball in his hands, went to work. I think part of Jimmy being Jimmy is when you have Jimmy having the ball in his hands a lot more, he just is allowed to just be himself, and he's just able to be so much more effective. And we haven't seen that for the past two games with this new starting lineup of Jimmy, Tyler, Duncan, Haywood, and Bam. You basically have guys around Jimmy who can play off the ball. Obviously, Bam is a center, but besides Bam, Tyler can play off the ball, Duncan can play off the ball, Haywood can play off the ball, and you also have Tyler this season who's taken the jump of being a guy who can take the pressure off of Jimmy whenever Jimmy's not having it going. So I feel like this starting lineup is a starting lineup that should be the one to go to for the rest of the year, unless there's a trade made. I really think that this is the starting lineup to use. Jimmy Butler is best when he has the ball in his hands. We all know that. And unfortunately, with the starting lineup that had Terry and that had Jovic, two guys who need the ball in their hands as well, you kind of have Jimmy just spectating, just sitting in the corner, or just not really having the ball, not really being too engaged. He's not really the best off the ball player, but when he has the ball, when he's running the point, when he's running the show, he is really effective. And we saw that in the Sixers game, we saw that in the Dallas game. Really good, games from Jimmy. The past two games have been huge for us. We've needed them, and we were absolutely hoping that he could, provide that for us. And, this could be what Jimmy could do all year if you just allow Jimmy to run that point, if you allow Jimmy to just run the show with the ball in his hands, if you allow Jimmy to be who he is. And all respect to Terry, all respect to Nico, I think this should be no question, I think this should be the starting lineup for the rest of the season. I don't think we should make any changes to the starting lineup. We know the phrase, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, it's not broken. We have a starting lineup that is 2-0 against, the Sixers are not playing the best right now, but I still believe they're a good quality, team as far as talent is concerned. Yeah, they're playing pretty bad basketball. They're losing a lot. And the Mavericks, although they didn't have Luka, are still 9-7 coming into last night's game. They were still above 500. They were playing pretty good basketball. So two, I think, teams that are worth, gauging your talent against. It's not like we were playing the Jazz and the Blazers. We were playing pretty solid teams. And yeah, the Sixers put an asterisk on that, but definitely Dallas is a good team. Even without Luka, you can see what they were capable of. And we, I think, really thrived with that starting lineup on the floor. That was a really good tell. You could see in the second half against the Sixers, we were dominating them with that starting lineup. In the third quarter, we were going crazy, and in the fourth, in the whole game, whenever the starting lineup was in against Dallas, we were doing really well against them as well. And it just allows the second unit to also kind of play to their strengths. Nikola Jovic can play with the ball more. Terry, when he's back, can play with the ball more. You still have Jaime, you have K-Love, you still have Alec Burks, who was, oh my God, absolutely incredible. I don't know where Alec Burks has been all year. I don't know why Spoelstra has not played Alec Burks all year. I've been clamoring about playing Alec Burks. You guys know, if you guys follow me, you guys know. You guys know how much I've been talking about Alec Burks, man. This guy is an absolutely underrated player, man. He is the definition of a pro's pro. He will matter what, whether he's shooting the ball, whether he's, playmaking, whether he's being just like a winning player, like you will feel Alec Burks' impact on the court, man. He is an absolutely huge addition for this team. It was great that we were able to, pick him up in the offseason, and he's been amazing for us. And then Pelle Larsson, I mean, oh my God, man, the kid, he is just a winner. You can just see it with his play style. I mean, he can shoot, he can pass, he can defend, he can rebound, he can handle the ball. Like, he can just do everything. He is like a jack of all trades type of player, and you just need that. A guy who was picked that late in the draft and who's providing this much to a team that is a playoff team is not a joke, man. No joke what he's doing. Going crazy. Shout out to Pelle, man. Pelle, I told y'all, Pelle is going to be playing a lot more than people think. Obviously, Khalil Ware is the standout pick. He's the 15th overall, the lottery talent. But Pelle Larsson, he's a dog. So, great game from Pelle. Great game from Alec Burks. Those two off the bench were pretty huge for us, I'm not going to lie. Jaime, you can see Jaime still trying to get his flow back, man. Jaime is just he's kind of in a rut right now. But you can see Jaime still has talent, obviously. I just feel like Jaime hasn't had the opportunity to kind of grow his game out because he's just playing with so many guys that need the ball as well. So I feel like if Jaime just improves his shooting, we'll be fine. I'm not too worried about Jaime. The main thing for me is that whenever Terry Rozier is back, if it's against Milwaukee on Tuesday, then I feel like he has to come off the bench. I think that's non-negotiable, man. I think if Spoelstra brings Terry Rozier and puts him in the starting lineup, he is playing all of us, because there's absolutely no way after what we've been seeing for the past two games that Terry should slide back into that starting spot. The way he's been playing this season, I understand he's been dealing with the injury, but the way this team has been playing in that starting lineup without him, I just think that it's so much better, not just for the team, but for him as well. He can just play his role. I was looking at Terry Rozier's shot charts over the past few seasons, and Terry Rozier's shot charts have been really, really bad anywhere outside the rim. The rim has been his best friend. Like, getting to the rim has been his best friend. When he's playing with Jimmy, when he's playing with Tyler, when he's playing with Bam, he's just not able to do that, man. You have Jimmy and Bam who are already occupying that space. How are you going to have Terry play his game in the starting lineup? You can't, which is why I think he has to be a sixth man for this team. That's his best role. That will be the best role for the team. To have Terry Rozier be the sixth man, and he can still be a 15-point per game scorer off the bench. I still have high hopes for Terry Rozier this season. I just think that he needs to buy into being a sixth man. I think the team needs to buy into him being a sixth man. If they come back, and if Terry's back from his injury and he goes back into the starting lineup, I just think that they're playing all of us, because there's no way after what we've been seeing right now that you should be breaking up the starting five. And hopefully Haywood Highsmith is back from his injury. I did see that he obviously he went back to the locker and we didn't return. Hopefully he's good. But this starting lineup is just so good that, first of all, they all have chemistry playing with each other. You have the four guys who have been playing, with each other in the starting lineup for the most out of anybody on this team. Tyler, Duncan, Jimmy, Bam have been the four, most tenured players on this team. Haywood, I guess you can add him to the mix. He's probably the fifth most tenured player, not as much as those four, but he's also been here for a few years now. So they all have the chemistry. They all know what each other's good at. And then number two, they just fit each other's play styles. Like Jimmy, like I said before, it'll just allow Jimmy to be him. You need to cater your starting lineup to your best players. Jimmy and Bam need to be as comfortable as possible in the starting lineup that you're putting out. And the starting lineup before did not allow them to do that because of players who needed the ball as well. But when you add players like Duncan and Haywood into the starting lineup, you have guys who can play so much efficiently without the ball. So much efficient. Like, they can just play so much more freely. They can move off the ball. They can cut. They can pass. Duncan, by the way, has been instrumental on the game-winning plays this season. The one against Minnesota and then the Jimmy play against Dallas, which should have been an and one, by the way. I don't know what the ref was thinking. Duncan Robinson was the inbounder for both those plays. So he is a very good passer. And he's a very good off-the-ball player. And last night he was in some foul trouble. And he was missing his shots, but his value is more than just being a shooter. And I hope people understand that, because Duncan Robinson is a very integral part to this team. I'm happy that the Jay Rich minutes are gone. I really do think that those should not be returning anymore this season unless we have injury issues. Alec Burks and Pelle Larsson have more than earned their spots in the rotation, man. Like, they have been incredible this season, and it's been so fun to watch Alec Burks knock down every shot, almost. Like, every shot he takes just seems to go in. So, yeah, I'm super pumped with how the team has been playing over the past 2 games. We have a few games here, man. Milwaukee on Tuesday is going to be a big game. That's nationally televised. It's on TNT. That's going to be a really good game. And then we have a back-to-back in Charlotte on Wednesday. That is another big game. You know, Charlotte, they haven't been playing the best, but Charlotte is still, you know, a team that's I think they only have 1 less win than we do. And then on Friday we play again. We play Toronto. So we have 3 games in 3 days. Like, that is not easy. That's not easy to do. And then we play Sunday again, and then Monday. So because we had that 5-game layoff where we didn't have any games, the NBA is basically saying you have a game on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Thursday, obviously, there's no games in Thanksgiving. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you play Sunday, Monday. So a lot of games, and then those games are against Toronto, Boston, Milwaukee, Charlotte. 4 teams that, you know, will play hard against us, especially Boston and Milwaukee, but we know Toronto likes to bring the energy. They play kind of like we do. Toronto, they play really, you know, hard-nosed. And then Charlotte has been pushing the pace a lot this year, and LaMelo has been on a tear. So tough games. We'll have to see how they cope with these games and the schedule, but I hope everyone gets well rested. You know, with their injuries, and Haywood Highsmith and Jaime Jaquez, I hope they're good. And I hope Terry Rozier comes back off the bench. And I hope that we play the way that we've been playing over the past 2 games, because if we do that, we're going to be beating a lot of teams this year. You guys let me know in the comment section below, man, what you guys think about the whole starting lineup situation, the injury situation. I'll see you later as always. Peace.